loud. Are you ready? Let me introduce you, my friend. Don't worry. That's my friend Martin. Now we are in Skopje, capital of Macedonia. Yes. Please tell me, bro, where we are now and what do you have in your beautiful city?
Yes, well, we're in Skopje, the capital of Macedonia. And once you arrive in the center of Skopje, you will see this big statue with a big horse and big balls on him. So this represents Alexander the Great. I'm sure you all have heard of him. And why he's so famous? Well, by the age of 26, he could already conquer most of the known world with the empires. And the place where he came from, Macedonia, was not that strong of a land. The tribes were spread all around, but his father managed to collect them together, and he had some badass teachers like Aristotle. So they taught him some good lessons about life and about fear, about war. But what was different about him is that he was brave and he could understand fear. So he said, in every generation there is the battle of fear, and whoever wins this battle shall live freely, but whoever succumbs by it and gets conquered by it shall die as a slave. And this is still relevant today. Maybe our generation battle is the corona, the pandemic, and all the fear around it. So are we gonna win this, or we're gonna be enslaved by it? Something to think about. So he was very creative, and they managed to conquer an army of Persia, which was 5 times larger than them. And it was by understanding how fear works, creativity, and new inventions. So you can see the soldiers around him. They have these long spears.
Yes.
They're part of the invention known as the Macedonian phalanga. And this was rows of soldiers with long spears. And with these long spears, they could easily penetrate in the enemy formations, make a hole, and then horses come from behind, make a panic chaos, and they could spread around the troops. So he didn't use it always, but in important battles, he would use this tactic. And maybe that's one of the reasons how he could manage to conquer larger armies than himself. And one of the most important things to mention about Alexander and his conquers is that he wasn't just a warrior going for the kill or for the treasures. He had a higher purpose. And the purpose was to unite, actually. He would collect the most educated people, and he created libraries. You heard about the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. Well, it's called Alexandria because of him. And they say that if this library wasn't destroyed, if we had the knowledge contained, we would have already been on Mars. It means the technology would have gone already higher. So, for example, when he went to some places, they were not afraid of him. They didn't wait at him as a new conqueror, but as a redeemer. So in Egypt, he was worshipped, and they put him on the shields, and they saw him as a savior. You know, we don't know. Maybe he wasn't like a perfect flower, and probably did a lot of battles where a lot of people died. But it seemed that he had an idea to unite and globalize people. And he emerged different traditions, different cultures. So he was on the side where he wanted to create easy travels. He built roads, and the people could learn from each other. And in a way, he's a hero for Macedonia.
Okay. Which year was built this statue?
Yeah, so this statue is actually...
It's a new one.
New one. There was a project from the previous government. It's called Skopje 2014. And they built all the statues that we might see today around. Yes.
So, in 2014?
Yes.
Oh, not long time ago. 7 years ago.
Sure.
Okay, we go here, and here is the Tsar Samuil.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me, please, who...
So, Tsar Samuil, you see, Macedonia didn't have a consistency of its kingdom. It was usually conquered by bigger empires.
Yes.
And, for example, the Roman Empire, that was around 1,000 years. Then the Ottomans, they were 500 years. But in these between spaces, you had our freedom and we could create a kingdom. So King Samuel was one of the kings. His fortress is in Ohrid, actually. If you go to Ohrid, you will see a big fortress. And there are some really interesting excavations found. So there is this famous battle. How did he end up? You see, his army was trapped in between a mountain. And it was because of some traders. They told where they're gonna pass by. So they caught them. And what the enemy did is they took off the eyes of every soldier, except to every 100th soldier leader, they left one eye, so the leaders could guide them back to Ohrid, where King Samuel was. And when he saw them, his defeated army, which meant, you know, Allah at the end, the men from the land, they couldn't be productive anymore. They couldn't work on the land and the family. He fell on his knees, he had a heart attack and died. So that's how King Samuel died.
Wow.
And then his brothers fought over the throne, but he was a strong king who held things together for a while.
So he was a king of Macedonian army?
Yes, of Macedonia, of the area then.
Which century it was happened? Okay, no problem. So here we have an arch, Macedonia, right?
Yes.
There. Shopping mall Ambar, I see, yes. EVN media station. Maybe there's some radio.
It's actually electricity. So this is the main square of Skopje.
What is the name of the square?
It's called Square Macedonia.
Square Macedonia.
Yes.
And the name of the country Macedonia.
Yes.
Macedonia. About 2 million living here,
Yes.
right? Okay, great. And there is a castle and the river.
Yes, you see, this is a famous bridge that we're watching.
Yes.
It was the only bridge that united the two parts of the city.
Yes.
And when the Ottomans came, they developed a market known as Charshia from the other side.
Yes.
And people, villagers who lived on this part, they had to pay tax to cross the bridge. So there were soldiers on the bridge, they had to pay tax and then trade. But all the life happened in the old town. The trading, the living, the gossip. There's a lot of cultural evidence there. And Christians, Muslims living together, working together, being accepted day by day. So we can check that out
Okay.
later.
Okay, wait a second.